Hello everyone, this is Jim Okozinski with your week 3 screencast video. So this week as we wrap up the AI mirror essay, we are moving into the cultural artifacts unit for the cultural artifact essay. This is a short unit, about a 2-week unit. We'll do some brainstorming and then move into the final draft like we did with the AI mirror essay assignment. Then we'll move into some longer units when we get into the review and also our last writing project, which will be the review of literature. So this week, you'll want to take note of the Essay Basic Handbook just for as a reference guide. We'll be using OpenStax, the textbook. Chapter 2, the intro and 2.1 will help everyone get a handle on identity and writing, and then those page on discourse community, and we'll explain that as we move through this week. Friday is when discussion board number 4 will be due. It's the brainstorming activity for the cultural artifacts essay. Responses, I believe, are due on the 7th, so that's the way the unit will work. Here in the module, let me get to, here we go, to our module 2, the weeks 3 and 4. Here is our readings, resources, and activities tab. Chapter 2 in OpenStax. Click on my link, it'll take you there. You should register for your particular copy of OpenStax. You can do so. It's free resource. You can see how I've highlighted some of the content here for my teaching benefit, and you can do the same for you. A couple of interesting pages here between the introduction and section 2.1. The activities for this particular unit will be discussion board 4, brainstorming, and then the final cultural artifacts essay. As always, the Essay Basics Handbook will guide you in writing and how to set up those MLA documents. So let's move on to the next page. I will post about, and I'd say in a couple of days, a video about discourse community explaining that. You may want to read through this particular page, give you an idea what a discourse community might be. Melzer's article here is a little interesting about learning how to play guitar in a meetup group. Also, Swales' article here explains all what a discourse community be and some examples. Don't expect you to read these deeply, but you might be able to want to skim for some of the highlights in these particular 2 resources. Like I said, a video will be coming in a couple of days. So discussion board number 4, brainstorming a cultural artifact. So this is where you'll think about a cultural artifact that'll be the topic for your particular essay due next week. So you want to think about identifying a potential cultural artifact, something that you interact with regularly, find some meaning. Cultural significance, I have all sorts of examples out there of cultural artifacts. It could be just about anything that comes from your ethnic or your culture, or your ethnic culture. So also sometimes students just don't have a strong tie to culture, and therefore focusing on a discourse community or community that they belong to will often help them come up with a topic for their particular cultural artifacts essay. So here's the discussion board. You want to read through it and get an understanding of the 2 paths, part 1 and part 2, so you can brainstorm. Now the idea here is to prepare yourself for the cultural artifacts essay. So just to touch on this is an essay assignment where you can choose either an ethnic culture or a discourse community. The prompt here is designed for you to do one or the other. A cultural artifact from an ethnic culture or communication in a discourse community. You don't really have to mix the 2. It's not, you don't have to cover both. It'd be a one or the other type of a topic generating activity there. The primary purpose is for you to recognize how your lived experiences and the profound role they play in shaping you, who you are, and how you see the world into this particular essay assignment. This is rooted with a little bit of history and background about your artifacts or community, but also it's mostly dependent upon your lived experiences, what your interaction with the artifact or the community says about you, and you can relay some of those experiences in this particular essay assignment. Cover a little bit more about this particular essay in the next week's videos, but you want to read through this assignment. It's a 1,000-word essay. MLA essay guidelines apply, so you want to be aware of that. but this is where we're going next, and it'll be due on October 12th in 2 weeks. All right. All right. So that wraps this week's screencast. Let me get the announcement. Screencast video for week 3. Okay, I give a couple of days, kind of like to think about this particular topic. A little hangover from the essay assignment due Sunday end of day. So the brainstorming activity won't be due until Friday. All right. If you have any questions or issues, please send me an email.